So I'm Phil Archer. I work for GS1, which no one's heard of. We're the people behind the barcodes, which is the transport and logistics system that makes sure that your supermarket has the goods that you want to buy. Digital. Retail is changing completely. So, of course, the web is 25, 30 years old, but e-commerce is still, it's not in its infancy. But for a lot of traditional retailers, this internet, web, mobile thing is something they really don't know quite how to handle. But they're aware, of course, that the tech giants are stealing market share or competing very actively, depending on how you phrase it. And the biggest challenge that traditional retail has is understanding and making use of the web in a way that supports their traditional business model and allows them to continue trading without losing out continually to Silicon Valley. STOs are a necessary evil, they're a necessary tax, they're a necessary pain in the neck. The usual aphorism is to take part in standards work is expensive, not to take part in standards work is even more expensive. And you do need collaboration. And we work with, of course, in the case of GS1, we work with manufacturers and retailers all over the world who are very direct competitors. So we have literally PepsiCo sitting next to Coca-Cola, sitting next to Walmart and Tesco and everybody else. And those people are fiercely competitive, but they need to work together for their own benefit to agree those common ways of doing stuff, because they probably use the same distribution channel and they might use the same kind of system. You need to know that as goods progress through the system, there is some commonality and some assurance that the container that is full of all this stuff, you know what it is, you know where it's going, and that requires standardization. If you are a small, innovative company, whether you're in my area of retail or whether you're in a tech giant or whatever it may be, if you're trying to take on a big company, it takes time, it takes money to participate in standardization. And a small company doesn't have that time, doesn't have that financial resource to do it. And yet, of course, that's where the innovation is. So the big challenge, I think, for all STOs, no matter what the particular sector they work in, is how do you include the people you actually want? A standard is the consensus of the people who wrote it. And people who didn't write it are perfectly legitimate in their rejection of it. You want them in the room. And that's hard.